The countdown is on. Recreational marijuana will become legal in Maryland when the clock strikes midnight tonight. We're live with why some are welcoming the day and others not so much. An investigation is underway after Baltimore police killed a man in a shootout. A look at the ongoing struggle to address crime in Baltimore. And the severe storms we saw giving way to potential flooding risks this evening. We're tracking the weather changes for your holiday hour by hour.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
Strong thunderstorms moving through during the heart of the 4th of July getaway. Good evening, I'm Maxine Stryker. We start tonight with breaking weather news. Those storms continue rolling through. You're taking a live look around our region, including a look at road conditions from our Chevy Storm Tracker driving towards Howard County, where a tornado warning has since expired. Let's bring in meteorologist Jasmine Lomax now with the latest.
Thanks, Maxine. We're continuing to track that line of storms as it now crosses the Chesapeake Bay and approaches the eastern shore. We still have some areas of heavy rain, but you'll notice that line is a little more broken up. We'll continue to have areas of heavy rain and potentially some gusty winds as this does cross over to the eastern shore. So around Pleasant Hills, Essex, even down into Arnold, we're seeing some of the heaviest rain currently. Now, we did have that tornado warning for part of Howard County that has since expired. Now, parts of the county actually dealing with just a little bit of light to moderate rain. So this line is quickly moving to the east-northeast. The severe thunderstorm warning has expired. We are, though, now looking at an aerial flood warning, and that's in place for part of Carroll and Baltimore counties. So if you do come to any waters with ponding or flooding, you want to make sure that you are turning around. Also drive safely as we continue to deal with the showers and storms across the state. These will last over the next couple hours, and then we'll gradually start to see improved weather. One of the good things, though, is that we're looking at improved air quality behind these storms, all associated with this next weather maker. We'll also have improved air quality over the weekend, but unfortunately, rain will play a factor in the forecast along with a few storms as well. Coming up, I'll have a look at the timing of the rain and storms for the weekend, and I'll let you know what to expect as we get closer to the 4th of July and my Weather Authority forecast. Back to you.
Just into our inbox today, the State Attorney General's office confirming it's now investigating the deadly police shooting near Patterson Park last night. BPD describing it as a shootout. It comes halfway into the year as the city continues to struggle with crime. Baltimore remains one of the most dangerous cities in America. Each year, city officials countless promises to curb crime, falling short of breaking it. The grim milestone. As Fox 45's Rebecca Pryor reports, one expert says the ongoing violence could be making us numb to the numbers.
Yeah, today a rhetoric expert that I spoke with says that the constant crime in Baltimore City has turned extraordinary violence into an ordinary part of our everyday lives, one that no longer triggers the response that it should.
In Baltimore City,
I just heard like a rapid burst of bullets.
Bloodshed is often a daily occurrence.
Like a pop, 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 pop.
So much so, Thursday's deadly officer-involved shooting near Patterson Park seemed the same as any other day for this resident.
I mean, we get shootings, but to be honest, not this close to my house. Maybe a little bit further down there.
And in Canton.
It makes you think twice.
Following a robbery gone wrong that cost a 23-year-old T-Mobile employee his life.
Where are you safe? I guess in a secure building, I suppose.
Smiles.
You're never safe.
And laughter.
Laughter in the face of a major threat is a way to deny it or to distract from it.
According to rhetoric professor Richard Vatz, the lighthearted reactions to a disheartening issue is a common coping mechanism.
The fact is that you can have a situation which is on its objective side very, very awful. And you can have people who are trying to compensate for their feeling of fear by making jokes.
Is that concerning at all?
It's not concerning unless it serves as a substitute for doing something. I mean, there are policies, for example, that the city could follow that might alleviate some of the violence that they don't follow.
Despite crime currently on the decline, homicides and shootings remain high. In the last month alone, Baltimore City averaging almost 1 murder and 2 non-fatal shootings a day, meaning the sounds and sights of gunfire, met with flashing lights and crime tape, is no longer alarming. To some, it's normal.
You know, it's Baltimore. He kind of comes with the territory, right?
That adds another danger of normalizing violence. People get comfortable and stop calling for change. Reporting in Baltimore City, Rebecca Pryor, Fox 45 News.
Mayor Scott is reacting to that deadly police shooting. In a statement, he said this violent, tragic outcome impacts the entire Baltimore community, and our hearts are with all of those affected by this incident in every way. He goes on to say there will be an assessment of the actions taken, but all initial information indicates the officers did what was necessary to ensure this violent incident did not further endanger residents in the area.
Breaking this afternoon, new filings in the federal perjury and mortgage fraud trial against former City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby. A second request to move the trial out of Baltimore City into Greenbelt has been made. The request mentions Fox 45's coverage of her indictment. Now, our Jeff Abel will have a complete report on what both sides are requesting coming up tonight on Fox 45 News at 10. Max.
I'm disappointed in the state of Maryland in every conceivable way.
We are less than 24 hours away from recreational weed sales here in Maryland, and while many are excited for the new laws to kick in, for others the situation has been a nightmare. Nicholas Patrick owns 3 CBD wellness stores, but that changes tonight. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost has a look at his concerns now that weed will be legal in just a few hours.
Nicholas Patrick is a guy that we have been following throughout this entire legislative process because some products from hemp have a certain level of THC. Business owners like Nick say they can't sell those products without a recreational marijuana license. And right now, Patrick says that's just not possible.
I've been coming here for like 3 years almost.
Wayne Bradford is stopping in to stock up. It's the last time he'll buy hemp products from Embrace CBD.
They got the good stuff.
I feel betrayed by our state. I feel betrayed by our legislature, by our governor, who said he was leaving no one behind. This is not what the people voted for when they voted to legalize cannabis.
Embrace CBD owner Nicholas Patrick says he knew this day was coming after lawmakers in Annapolis greenlit the plan setting up Maryland's legalization of recreational pot. Language in the law prevents most of the products that used to sit on these now empty shelves from being sold. It's because the hemp products like Delta 8 have THC in it, but it's not the same THC that you think of when you think of someone smoking weed.
We began letting all of our customers know that come July 1st, we will no longer be able to sell these products. We're still sitting on, I think at this point, I have about $35,000 worth of inventory that I can't sell.
Now, layoffs and financial ruin may be on the horizon for Patrick, his family, and staff members.
We're devastated. I'm devastated. I may have to file bankruptcy.
Patrick says he spent hours lobbying lawmakers to include the hemp industry in the marijuana framework, pushing for more regulation and testing of the products, while also pushing to keep his doors open. Lawmakers telling us earlier this year the lack of regulation in the hemp industry is a public safety concern.
I don't think it was ever anticipated as a product for sale at a retail establishment.
That bill called for regulation in the hemp business, but it died in committee.
If it was really about public safety and they actually cared about the small business community, they would have passed that damn bill. But they didn't.
Now, just a few buds left in the jar. The closure countdown has arrived and time is up. What was once the sign of a budding business
It feels terrible. I remember how excited we were.
is now the sign of the end of the line for a business Nicholas Patrick used his life savings to build. Patrick says that he does plan to keep his store in Glen Burnie open, transitioning that into a smoke shop. And I asked him what would happen if lawmakers come back to session in January to address some of his concerns. He says by next year, there won't be much of a hemp industry left to save. In the newsroom, Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
The Supreme Court comes out with 2 major rulings. We take a look at what it means for your student loans.
Social media is driving the youth mental health crisis. Coming up, I'll tell you what parents want to protect their children.
The Supreme Court issuing two landmark decisions on the final day of its current term. In the first decision, the court ruled in favor of a Colorado Springs web designer who did not want to make a website for a same-sex couple's wedding. The 6-3 decision was penned by Justice Neil Gorsuch, the majority arguing under the First Amendment a person cannot be compelled by the government to endorse something they do not want to. In the dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor said the decision will undermine the government's ability to make sure all Americans have equal access to the public marketplace. And in that second decision, the court struck down President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. Justices blocked the Biden administration's efforts to deliver up to $20,000 in loan relief to millions of borrowers struggling with debt. The decision was again 6-3. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the majority, saying the administration would need congressional approval. Many Republicans applauded the ruling. Just hours after the decision, the president announced his new plan for debt forgiveness while taking aim at Republicans who challenged his program.
You know, these Republican officials just couldn't bear the thought of providing relief for working class, middle class Americans. Republican state officials sued my administration, attempting to block relief, including millions of their own constituents. We will ground this new approach in a different law than my original plan, the so-called Higher Education Act. That will allow Secretary Cardona, who's with me today, to compromise, waive, or release loans under certain circumstances. This new path is legally sound. It's going to take longer, but in my view, it's the best path that remains to providing for as many borrowers as possible with debt relief.
Biden also says his new plan will not be the same as a student loan pause. The U.S. Surgeon General says social media is a huge factor in the national youth mental health crisis. Now, a new poll shows the vast majority of parents are calling for more online safety measures to protect their children. National correspondent Janae Bowens has the details.
Dane Whitbeck is a father of 4 who says his kids can't get on social media until they're at least 16.
You have lots of data coming out that social media is a direct contributor to kids feeling down about themselves and feeling disconnected in real life.
A lot of people agree with Dane. Security.org surveyed nearly 1,000 parents. 98% of them believe social media platforms are dangerous to users under 18. 89% of them support laws requiring children under 18 to obtain parental permission before accessing social media.
It's our job to raise these kids to be able to handle this technology.
Depression and anxiety and other types of mental health and substance use issues. But for some folks, it can be really helpful. So I think it really behooves policymakers to explore this further.
A national ban of TikTok could be in the works, and Congress is also looking into setting a minimum age of 13 for social media access and require parental consent until age 18. Utah and Arkansas have restricted underage access to social media. California has set stricter online privacy rules for children, and Montana has banned TikTok.
Social media and kids, especially tweens, does not mix well.
The alarming truth is the number of kids and teenagers with anxiety and depression has shot up by about 30% in recent years. And it's clear parents want as many measures as possible to protect their children.
And Janae Bowens, she joins us live now. How are social media companies responding to all of this? Are they putting in any new measures?
Well, TikTok, which is the app parents in that survey say is the most dangerous, has rolled out new features. A few months ago, they announced a 60-minute daily screen time limit for accounts belonging to users under the age of 18. But TikTok's future in the U.S. is far from certain, with the mental health concerns and national security concerns. Maxine.
Right, Janae, thank you for joining us.
Right now, you're taking a look over the harbor and over Towson, where it is rainy as we continue to deal with rain and storms around the state. You can see that on the HD radar. It's part of our latest weather maker, and we'll continue to have the chance for a few showers and storms over the weekend. Now, this latest weather maker has led to some severe weather across parts of the state. Right now, though, that line is starting to break up. It's a little bit weaker, but we've still got some areas of heavy rain around the state. So you'll notice as we look toward the eastern shore shore and even some parts north and then down south into Anne Arundel County. We've got that heavy rain. Areas that dealt with the severe weather, including Howard County and parts of Baltimore City, Anne Arundel County, now looking at some light to moderate rain. So this line is quickly moving to the east-northeast. Now we do have an aerial flood warning in place for part of Baltimore and Carroll counties. So if you do come to any waters and you see some flooding, you want to make sure that you turn around. You may also notice some ponding from that heavy rain that's been moving over the state. Now, in areas that already dealt with the rain, areas west, we're actually seeing good air quality and some moderate air quality across parts of the state. So with the rain, we do have improved air quality, and we'll continue to see that quality improve over the weekend. Our current temperature is mainly the 70s and the 80s, a big change in those temperatures associated with those storms moving through. We'll still have the chance for a couple of showers and storms as we head into the night, but we're not talking anything severe. Still, make sure that you're driving safely and check the radar before heading out. We'll have mostly dry weather until about 6-7 o'clock. That's when a few spotty showers start to roll into the state. It does look mostly dry as we head into the afternoon, but that changes for the night. This is when we get ready for another round of showers and potential storms. These will continue overnight, and then it looks mostly dry as we start the day on Sunday. Into the early afternoon, still looking mostly dry, but later on we'll have the chance for showers and storms. And we're already under a slight warning for severe weather, so that is threat level 2 of 5. Make sure that you are staying weather alert this weekend as we deal with showers and storms. We'll have another chance for scattered showers on Monday. Then after that, it looks mostly dry on Tuesday for the 4th of July. Rain chances begin to increase after that. So overall, the next several days will be unsettled with at least a spotty shower possible. Tonight, temperatures fall to 68 with a chance for a few showers and potential storms at times. Then we're looking at another round of potential showers tomorrow morning and then later in the day, mainly arriving for the second half of the day. Our high temperatures reach the upper 80s. After that, we're looking at a stretch of hot days, upper 80s, low 90s next week. And we're also talking the daily chance for showers and potential storms. I'll let you know what you can expect coming up in the exclusive 10-day forecast.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A derecho blew through portions of the upper Midwest on Thursday. You can see the well-defined cloud formations over Charleston, Illinois. Suncrest Beach along the Florida Panhandle seems ready for the holiday weekend crowds. And while last night's sunset in Michigan was gorgeous, we hope the Canadian wildfire smoke finally gives way to clearer air for the holiday weekend.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
A series of new laws in Florida receiving backlash. A look at Governor Ron DeSantis' education, not indoctrination agenda. Presidential hopeful and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis making headlines this week after a number of new laws went into effect, advancing an agenda he calls education, not indoctrination. Victoria Day Cardenas from our sister station in West Palm Beach has the story.
Governor DeSantis makes no secret of the fact he believes the public school system has failed parents and students. His legislative agenda reflects the commitment to bring things back on track as he and the Republican state legislators see it. And on top of that list, bringing parents back into the mix and letting kids be kids.
And part of parents' rights means you have a right as a parent to curriculum transparency. You have a right to know what is being taught in your kid's school.
Florida's governor is on a mission to fix the state's public schools. Part of his solution is more parental involvement. Another is eliminating what he calls the woke agenda. This year, he signed a number of new laws to achieve those goals. Among them, requiring students to use the bathroom that corresponds to their sex at birth. School employees and students are also required to use pronouns which correspond to the individual's sex at birth. The Parental Rights in Education Act was expanded so that the exploration of gender identity and sexual preference will be off limits from pre-kindergarten to 8th grade. Andrew Spar, the president of Florida's largest teachers union, says all these cultural issues need to take a backseat to the real crisis in public education: teacher pay and retention.
The people who work in our schools, from school boards to superintendents to administrators to teachers and staff in our schools, they've been walking on eggshells really in our schools, not sure what to do, how to respond. Everyone's feeling this threat. And the reality of it is it's being driven by a very small number of people.
One group which stands firmly behind these new policies, Moms for Liberty. Formed by Florida families who oppose masking and other COVID restrictions in public schools, they are now a national organization championing parents' involvement in education. And other Florida laws that go into effect July 1st include banning access to social media sites on school computer networks like the Chinese-owned app TikTok. They would also require courses on the uses and dangers of social media starting in 6th grade. In West Palm Beach, Florida, I'm Victoria Day Cardenas reporting for the National Desk, America's News Now.
We're still dealing with showers and storms across the state, but the line quickly moving to the east. However, we've got another round of showers and potential storms coming later tomorrow. 87 for the high temperature, then 89 with another round of showers and storms on Sunday. We are under a slight risk for strong to severe storms on Sunday. After that, temperatures in the low 90s on Monday as we start a stretch of 90-degree days, then 91 on the 4th of July with mostly dry weather. After that, we're looking at 90s continuing with the chance for showers and storms as we head into the weekend. Maxine?
Finally tonight, an update on that rescued otter pup we told you about earlier this week. The zoo says the pup has been receiving the best care, receiving checkups every day. Vets examine her overall body condition, including her coat and her paws, and check her weight to make sure she's hitting her growth milestones, including beginning to learn to swim. The zoo says her checkups have gotten 2 paws up so far. She's still declared as non-releasable and will continue to be cared for at the zoo until they can find her forever home. That's all for Fox 45 News at 6. Family Feud is next. We'll see you again tonight at 10. Have a great night.